time for another real estate market update. I've been getting questions like, Sanan, where have you been? Are the prices going to keep skyrocketing? Will the rents calm down or are they going to keep going higher? God damn it, what is it? Should I be selling or buying? I'm so confused. Are we in a buyer's market or a seller's market? Are there any good deals left? And where do you see Tbilisi's real estate market stand in the future? All right, I'm going to share all of that with you today. And if you watch till the very end, I will also be sharing exactly what I'm doing in a market like this, guys, and what you should be doing right now if I were you. Look, take what you want, take what you like from here, ignore what you don't. All I ask in return for my time and information is for you to contribute to my reach so that my audience can find me, my fellow brothers and sisters. More people like you and I will be able to find me by simply clicking the like button. You do just that, and it's a lot, so thank you. And well, because it's free to do so. So go ahead and like it like that. If you're not logged in, can't be bothered, I completely understand. But at least know this. This is not a TikTok video that dumbs you down. This is informative, educational, entertaining. And since you're hearing it from personal experience, this is my experience. So grab yourself a tea, coffee, whatever you like, water, turn off your phone, take your seats and listen. It's so easy to get distracted nowadays, and it's important to give me your full attention, and I promise to make it worth your while. And for those that already know me, you know I'm not a YouTuber or something. I don't make YouTube videos very often. So let's dive in real quick. For those that are new here, my name is Sanan Sanani, and a few years ago I was living in my parents' house with no income producing assets, just liabilities and a completely wrong mindset and approach to life. Now, thanks to my 5 mentors, I learned a different approach than most people and own more than 2,000 square meters of rental property, and I specialize in guiding income earners and homeowners how to do the same. How to build a cash flowing portfolio of properties by just starting from one property and eventually getting the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, each getting easier and easier every time, kind of like Monopoly. Till you're purchasing a property every week or month rather than just every year or just once. And instead of purchasing a property that barely breaks even on the mortgage payments like most, instead I show you how to get cash flowing properties, and it all starts here in videos like this. So subscribe to be alert to my videos if you're interested in Tbilisi real estate. I spend my time doing this in hopes that maybe 1 year down the line you come back to me and say, Sanan, your words impacted me in a positive way onto becoming a real estate investor. And moments like those, guys, are far more worth every dollar I make. It's priceless to me. All right, let's not waste any more time and dive right in. If you all have heard of the word FOMO, maybe you felt the fear of missing out on an event your friends are going to, or that you fear missing out on Bitcoin hitting 100K, so you buy Bitcoin like a degenerate at highs like 50, 60K, such as myself. Guys, what we are facing in all of Tbilisi's real estate markets, such as the rental market, developer sales, and secondary sales market, is exactly the same. FOMO. Buyers, sellers, tenants are feeling the fear of missing out on their investment, or that the apartment they'd like to stay at will get taken away by another expat who's moving in the city. You've got tons of first-time visitors putting deposits on developer projects, and tons more who visited more than once before and been around the block a few times. They're out here buying real estate as a base or to start investing and putting them up for rent because the rents have gone up. Then you've got a storm of IT specialists, mainly programmers and digital marketing specialists and uni students and digital nomads from all around the world, mainly Europeans and Russians, the friendly ones, storming in to jump in a flat for rent. Tbilisi is rocking, guys. This is the place to be if you love networking events, meetups, and easy business. And by the way, I love these waves of IT specialists and programmers. I like their energy. They're cool, and they've brought their happiness with them. And this energy of happiness is scattered across the city as if Corona never happened. It's so full. All my favorite places are busy, and it's nothing like the COVID era we just came out of. That's officially over, and with it, so are the old prices of properties and the sales and the rentals. And that's something many couldn't face. Rents doubled, and the chances of buying the property you wanted on discount, that guy just put his price up a couple $100 per square meter more. or has already sold it at such prices. So yes, the COVID prices are over. If you contacted me in Corona and didn't buy, you snooze, you lose. Remember, I speak about this in my previous videos. Deals are always to be found though. At least once a week you could come across the deal of your lifetime if you only knew how to actively look for it. Real estate deals exist in every single market in the world, as the price of real estate is the price on what a willing buyer and a willing seller is ready to meet at, or the price the willing landlord and the willing tenant is ready to negotiate on. And about the renters, you can find out what they think and feel about the rental situation all over Telegram groups. There's a few problems. One situation is that there are barely any well-maintained or up to modern standard apartments left in the market. Bad quality apartments are being priced high, and if there are any good ones up for rent, they are priced above what they could afford or above what's reasonable. So you have a bunch of expats who are forced to jump into apartments they don't necessarily like to avoid jumping Airbnb to Airbnb, the whole check-in, check-out drama. And so their new strategy is to jump into 6 months agreements so that in case the apartment they like or the rental prices drop lower are found when the contract expire from the rental rush, they could hop out and hop in and finally settle in, or just maybe move to another country. So they like 6 months. And whether that plan works for them or not, I'm not so sure. I think rents will definitely stabilize. Yes, I'm just not sure when. But if you're a homeowner, that's why I think it's important for you to make sure your apartment is in the top 10% of the market in terms of design and standards. And this way, you'll always have a tenant who knows the value of that unit. And if you're a tenant, I hope you find the apartment you're looking for. It's hard these days. Unfortunately, mine are all full, and I wish I had bought more to keep up with the demand. And regarding my opinion on the tenants wanting 6 months contracts, I've been getting asked this a lot. It's favorable for some landlords and tenants. But personally, as a long-term investor who owns more apartments than I can count on both hands, I have to say, I really rarely ever accept 6 months agreements. I don't do daily rental or Airbnb either. If I accepted 6 months, it's because I've made a bet with myself they'll enjoy their stay and stay longer. Personally, I hate the idea of people using my apartment as a transit, as it's not a terminal. And I love it when a tenant treats my unit as a home, a base, and settles down and treats my apartment the love it deserves, and as if it's their own home. This way, the apartment is treated best, the tenant feels at home, and I get stable monthly income instead of having to show the place every 6 months to someone else. In fact, the best tenants always add value and leave the property in a better condition than they got it in when they moved in. And bad tenants, they leave the apartment in a worse condition than it was when they moved in. And tenants who treat your place as their home tend to usually treat it the best. They tend to be the better lot. And in terms of sales, whether you're an investor, collector, or speculator, the good news is that prices aren't going to stay up here forever. The drop is around the corner, but the bad news is that most motivated sellers have already sold their property, and there are many fake sellers around. I call them fake sellers because they're the people who realize the market is hot and put their dream number up to see if it would sell. And they might not even sell it if you offer that. They'll go even higher. Greed is taking place. We're dealing with a lot of fake sellers, so it's harder to spot the motivated ones. But once there's too many properties up for sale, guys, and the fake sellers see the sale isn't as fast as they thought, they start to turn into motivated sellers. They start inching down their prices and they panic, but yet they try to keep their cool and remain competitive. But hey, what do they do if they want to be competitive? They push their price lower and lower, and the market retract this way. But that doesn't mean it's going tons lower. Real estate cycles are in such a way that each time a cycle repeats itself, it retracts a little bit higher than the last low, and when it booms, it goes a little bit higher than the last high. So if you're in it for the long run, do not wait, just buy and enjoy the high yields for they may not always be this way. And if you're in it for a quick fix and flip, beware, because this moment in this real estate cycle is exactly when the fix and flippers flop. There can be a downturn coming. It can be in 6 months or 5 years. Look, everyone has an opinion, but no one really knows. Real estate bubbles tend to last a couple years. So who knows how long this one will last? And so what am I doing in a market like this? Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'm definitely not selling. unless it's to immediately purchase another property I've already found, and if I've already made 50% of my invested amount from the appreciation. All right, so if I find another property will bring me more cash flow, there's been many stories. Almost every single seller of a property one day looks back and regrets selling it. Whether it's months or years down the line, you might regret selling the property you once sold. I'm in it for the long term, the wealth and equity buildup, and mainly I enjoy the cash flow from the rentals every month. It gives me time to do more of what I love doing, being free to do whatever I want. I also really don't mind if the rents go back to the COVID era. I was profiting back then too. So just imagine how much I'm profiting now. But whereas in the COVID era, I was aggressively buying like a flamethrower, everything that was up for grabs, 20 to 40% below market value. Now, my approach is more defensive. I'm only sniping and only choosing the best of the best for the price appreciation and stable rent. So that even if the market takes a turn, I'll be sure to keep the rents the same due to low supply of good quality apartments. It might even be so that my apartments continue to increase in value. Look, I still preach the golden rule and continue to never ever buy above the bank's evaluation, and still believe everyone out there should be doing the same. In times like this, if you hold a rental property portfolio, I would say it's a great time to put 40% of your rental income away in reserves that act like a storage. It can be your 6 months cash reserves for your mortgage payment, and it can eventually even act as your next down payment for your property. My vision from 5 years ago when I first arrived to Tbilisi, expecting a major upside in the economy, especially real estate, remains true and intact, as you can see today. But I didn't invest 5 years ago just to sell it all away now. Tbilisi is going to be a completely different city than what it is now and 5 years ago. An economy develops, that's what it does. And there's so much room for development that we haven't reached anything. Tbilisi, in terms of real estate, is Poland 10 to 15 years ago. Tbilisi is Dubai in the early 90s, beginning of 2000s. Tbilisi is Vienna in the 1980s. So we haven't reached nowhere near the selling point. In the long term, and I'm speaking decades, the properties you hold today in Tbilisi will be at least 4 to 5 times more expensive than the price you pay today. And if you're an investor in Tbilisi, it is your duty and mission to invest in as many as you can while you have the opportunity to do so. I say there are a lot of luxurious hotspots popping up in town, and it fascinates me that even with the quality of service, the places are not fully booked throughout the week. It's likely that it gets busy on Friday, Saturday, but that's it. The day I will sell properties I have invested in is the day I see all these top places packed to the point you can't even get a reservation if you call on the same day in the week even. That's the signal, that's my signal, and it can be 5 to 10 to 20 years from now, maybe even longer, but it's coming, and it has already started. You're early if you see the glass of water half full, and you're late if you see the glass of water half empty. That's all that it is, guys. It's the mindset. I would be feeling a lot luckier if I had bought in COVID times rather than panicked and sold, sure. And if you sell out of greed today, you might not regret it now, but you will regret it 5 years later. So just make sure you know what you're doing. And for the buyers out there, make sure you land a good deal, because panic and greed are both great indicators of an opposite turn in the market. And if everyone's feeling greedy now, then guess what's next? Panic. Discounts, Black Friday. And that's when you bring out the flamethrower and aggressively buy for everything. For now, I suggest you snipe and collect the jewels. For those of you who are interested to reach out to me, my company, my website is up. You can finally reach me through there, www.sterling.ge. Thank you for your time, ladies and gentlemen, and most importantly, thank you for your attention. If you've watched up until here, I would be delighted to help you further in person, in my course, or through my other YouTube videos. If you'd like to continue watching, I've personally selected the next 2 videos I recommend you to watch to keep your focus going on knowing the ins and outs of real estate and the beautiful capital city of Georgia, Tbilisi. Have a good day.